If you're in the market for a mini SUV that's just over 355,000 Rand and has won 2 awards for 2024, I have the answer just for you. If you haven't seen it already on the roads, let me introduce you to the Suzuki Fronx. To describe this car, it's like a Constantia mom who's decked out in Under Armour clothing but can barely run like 5 or 6 meters without like dying. Jokes aside, I'm not saying the Fronx is basic, quite the opposite actually. This is the GLX 1.5 automatic, and it's been a pleasure to drive and explore how it could be the ideal everyday car for just about anybody. The car is so versatile, I'm not actually sure who it's meant for. It meets a lot of requirements, so if you're looking for something bigger, more efficient and sporty, I think this might be a pick. Alright, so let's talk about the elephants in the room, the pricing and where it stands with the competition. The Fronx starts off at about 298,900 and goes up to about 355,900, which places it on the low end of its class segment, which is not bad. I mean, you're getting a lot for less if you think about it. Look, it's one of the few in its segment that offers a 1.5 liter engine, has a lower consumption than most, roughly about 5.5 to 6. Let's be honest, no one's going to get 5.5 in the city or even just driving. As you may have seen in my previous video reviewing the Suzuki Swift, you'll notice that the Fronx and the Swift share a couple of things on the interior. For instance, you've got this beautiful flat bottom steering wheel, you've got push to start, you've got power mirrors, you've got a rear view camera and keyless entry, but I will add a link up here for you to go and check out my review of the Suzuki Swift GLX. But regardless of what it shares with the Suzuki Swift, I think the Fronx is going for a more active mini SUV, and it really hits that on the nose. But if I had to sum the design up in 2 words, I think appealingly humble. From the front, you're greeted by these cool LED DRLs plus headlights, which are standard on all the specs. This lovely design grille, and you'll notice this rugged looking skid plate that extends to these fender arches here that introduce the active aesthetic of this car. For the side profile, they've used the side skirt and the roof rack to tie in with that sporty look, and I think it looks really amazing. But you'll notice we have 16-inch polished alloys as a standard for the GLX model. I think you should really spend that extra because these look pretty good. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a real sucker for a beautiful rear, and this honestly delivers. I love the use of the skid plate on the back that plays into the sporty aesthetic, but the real showstopper for me is the beautiful rear light that runs across the sides and the lid. Honestly, this is a very beautiful back, but let's check out the boot space. It may have the smaller literage compared to its competitors, but it really does have enough space, more than you'll actually need. We're looking at about 304 liters of space, but honestly, I think it feels a bit bigger than that. Cool, now that we're in the front, I just have to say, it offers a lot more presence and space than I expected. Like, honestly, it's a really nice sort of cabin. Look, and look at this, proper headroom, even with my hat on. It's very, very nice. The drawback is, unfortunately, the materials. Like, I get it, you kind of get what you pay for, but I was expecting on the GLX to have a bit more, you know, premium color schemes, or at least premium materials. Like, the plastics feel very cheap, the leather feels very cheap, the armrests are not comfortable. Not comfortable for a long distance, but comfortable enough. But yeah, that's I guess the only gripe I have with the interior. I also have to give it a point for the ergonomics of things. Lots of buttons, lots of switches. I'm done with the huge infotainment systems that control everything from the aircon to basically opening the doors. But I honestly think what Suzuki has done with this cabin is really, really impressive. But let's say for the next iteration, let's go up with the materials, guys. Let's go up with a bit more color schemes, because this maroon thing is not working. What you might have not expected is there's ample room here. Like, I've got plenty of space for my knees. I mean, the head is clear enough. It's very comfortable here, especially with the seats. They have a bit of an incline to them, so you're sitting comfortably. And I'm 1.86, and I sit comfortably here, and the driver's seat is set to me. So not only do you have enough room as a driver, but you have plenty of room as a passenger. Look, I was hoping time with the Fronx would change my mind about this, and might be a bit controversial to say, but honestly it feels very sluggish. Like, for a 1.5 liter with 77 kilowatts, I thought it would handle the power a bit better, but it's just so sluggish when I put my foot down. And paired up with the automatic transmission, I honestly don't know where the power is going. But other than that, it's a pretty decent ride. I really like it. It's very enjoyable. It's comfortable for the most part. I'm not sure how it'll be for long distance, but I think you'd be alright. I think though, if I would make a suggestion, is maybe a manual mode for the transmission. Look, don't get me wrong, the transmission itself is nice. It does what it needs to do, it gets the job done. I just wish there was a manual mode where I could shift up and shift down to my own needs. But yeah, that's all I can say about the driving experience. It's pleasant, but just generic. I'm at the end of my week with the Fronx, and I have to say, it is a remarkable car. I think it fought and begged for my affection, and I think it earned it. It really was a good car. It's reasonably priced, and it has a lot to offer. I can see why it won 2 awards last year. But hey, if you agree, let's start a conversation in the comments. Thanks for watching. I really love shooting this car, but I have some exciting news. I have some cool content coming up, and I really want you guys to see it. So please like, subscribe, and turn on those notification bells. And I'll see you guys in the next one.